Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you are watching it from. Happy to be back for another episode of Crypto Happy Hour. Sorry for a little bit of an absence with my trip to Miami for the Bitcoin conference and just catching up back with work and some other things, but happy to be back. Expect a ton of content out this week. So sorry for a little bit of a lack of content recently, but expect a ton of new content coming out this week. Definitely going to be working hard on that. But let's get into today's Crypto Happy Hour. As far as what I'm drinking, pretty beat today after a long day of work. So I'm going nuts with some Diet Dr. Pepper in the cup. No booze for me tonight. If you guys are drinking something, drink in my honor tonight, whether it's water, whiskey, wine, whatever it might be. Hope you guys are having a real solid one so far today. What's up, John? Appreciate it, brother. 47 years young as always. What's up from Australia? Awesome. Well, I guess we can start things off and just talk a little bit about what is, if you guys have any questions too about what happened kind of down in Miami. It was a pretty interesting experience. It was the first ever crypto conference that large crypto conference. I spoke at the NAC3, which is happening in New York in the near future as well, but the Bitcoin Miami conference was the first one that I ever went to that was like 4,000 people plus. There was probably more people there as well. And it was pretty crazy. There was the booths and everything like that. No sun in Miami. Yeah, zero sun for me in Miami. Zero sun at all. But it was a pretty interesting experience. Somebody just said the SEC is coming down on ICOs big time. Yeah, I think that there's certainly an opportunity. The SEC did mention some comments recently. The chairman of the SEC mentioned some comments about ICOs recently, so we can dive into what's going on with that and all about the SEC making life more difficult for some of these ICOs, which I think in some respect might be a good thing. There were actually some really interesting ICOs presenting in Miami. There were also some of the dumbest ICOs you've ever seen. So there's a balance as far as like the legitimacy of some of these projects. Some of them are clearly just there to make money, and then some you could tell are just like absolute technical geniuses and studs. So I'm excited to see how some of those might progress. It'll be interesting to pan out. Taking a look at somebody said all these prices are manipulated to F over the common man. So there's definitely it's an interesting discussion. A lot of people talk about, I'm all for unregulated environment, all this good stuff there. I hate regulation, blah, blah, blah. But then when the market gets manipulated, because that is typically what happens in an unregulated environment, people don't like that. There are a lot of things you can point to as far as the manipulation goes, whether it's whales, whether it's people shorting futures, whatever it might be. There's a lot of things, a lot of theories. One thing that I will say as far as crypto goes and as far as whales go and manipulation goes and this recent dip is going, a lot of people are looking for a specific reason to be like, that is the reason that crypto is dipping right now. It's because people are shorting the futures, or it's because whales are pushing the price down, or manipulation, or whatever it might be. There's not always a specific reason that you can point to every single time to be like, that was it. It was the news out of Korea, or it was something else. There isn't always an absolute reason as to why the entire crypto market drops. Sometimes it's just the market being the market. And, there are a lot of different things that can be involved in that, but I don't always think there's one specific thing that you can point to be like, yo, this is the reason, this is why the market is dropping. Should I sell my kidneys to buy this dip? Please help, Bobby. I would keep holding on to your kidneys. I don't know if the dip is over personally, but yeah, who knows? OneCoin busted in Bulgaria Ponzi schemes. Yeah, Ponzi schemes are going to get busted. That's what Ponzi schemes do. They steal your money and they get busted. And not to harp on BitConnect anymore, but they ran literally a Ponzi scheme to a T and stole everybody's Bitcoin and then handed them back worthless BitConnect coins that are now worth 95% less than they were 2 weeks ago. So BitConnect ran the most ideal Ponzi scheme of freaking all time. Basically, hey, everybody give me your Bitcoin. Just kidding. Here's this crap coin that you now have 95% less of what it is previously worth. So let's see here. It looks like I'm stuck. So let me see if I could fix this. So hopefully, oh shit. Sorry about that, guys. Give me 1 second to fix this. Trying to fix this bad boy on the fly. If you guys can hear me all right, hopefully you can. If not, sorry about that. OBS is dying on me, so let's see here. Okay, so you guys can hear me? All right, then that's fine. We might have to roll without my ugly face next to anything, and we might not be able to see the chats possibly because I think I need to update the next update to the next edition of OBS here. So apologies on that. But actually, let me try one more thing for you. If you can't see my face, I'll just pop out the chat, pop it over here. So we'll do that. No more of my face. Awesome. Well, let's hop into it, folks. So now I can run around and run around naked here and not worry about being on video and just kind of run with that. So just looking at some of these questions here, and let's see here. So as far as, let's see, here's to help with the infrastructure. Thank you very much, Garrett. It's simply because I'm an idiot and I did not download the latest patch of the latest update to OBS. I figured I could just get by without it, but apparently you can't. So here is to thanking OBS for that. So thanks a lot, OBS. But taking a look at some of the more questions here, and I'll pull up, but thanks again for that super chat, Garrett. I mean, as far as today goes, for the most part, down day across the board. Hey, what's up? Umit, what's up? As far as today goes, I mean, pretty much down across the board. Bitcoin is somewhat leading the way. I mean, there have actually been a lot of the altcoins that performed better than Bitcoin for the most part. It's probably one of the leaders in terms of its percentage down. A lot of the other altcoins have held up fairly well to that, so it should be interesting to see how it pans out. I think there are a lot of people that really have no clue which way the market is going, myself included right now. I'm just gonna be the first one to admit it. I don't see one very clear direction in which I can accurately predict, hey, the market is going up, the market is going down. We're kind of in this no man's land right now, and I'm leading towards more of a bearish trend at this point, obviously. So I'm not making any moves. I'm not selling anything. But at this point in time, I am definitely not like bullish on the market, and I don't think that there's any specific, real massive bullish move or bullish pattern that I'm looking at right now that's really giving me a ton of confidence at this point. Somebody said, can you mention the best upcoming ICOs you saw presenting in Miami? So I did see a couple of them. Some were pretty interesting. Some are also will be on the market soon. So a couple of them that I thought were interesting one is Wanchain. Wanchain will be, I believe the token is getting released at some point or another sooner rather than later. But Wanchain is one. I did not participate in the ICO, but it is one that once it hits the exchanges, I I not only got a chance to see them present in the booth in person, but they also had a happy hour event. They had a little bit of a crypto happy hour after the conference one day where they hosted it. They had some appetizers. They had a bar. It was pretty relaxed. It was actually really casual. And I got a chance to speak to Dustin, the president of Wanchain. I really liked what he had to say. So that is one. Somebody just mentioned, will you broadcast on Props once it is dialed in? Yeah, I actually just signed up. I got the beta release for Props, so I will be broadcasting on Props once that goes down. Somebody said Bellina got into Wanchain. Yeah, I think he did. And Ian Bellina is usually pretty solid when it comes to choosing ICOs. So obviously, he's going to make a pretty fat profit. I think Wanchain is going to be, to be pretty frank, I have no idea the multiple that Wanchain is going to be trading at when it hits the exchanges, but I would guess it's going to be pretty significant. I don't own any yet, but I'd like to get some, hopefully at the cheapest rate possible, but I would expect it to be pretty high up. Another one that I liked quite a bit was Polyswarm. So I had a chance to speak to Steve, who is the founder of Polyswarm. These guys are interesting. I should hopefully be having them on a crypto happy hour in the near future here as well. So I had a chance to talk to Steve. I liked what he had to say quite a bit. They are you could read the kind of the overall focus of it, but they're creating something called the Nectar token. It's basically cybersecurity in a decentralized manner, where they're going to have cybersecurity experts rather than running like a Norton antivirus, or rather than running something like Norton antivirus or McAfee antivirus or anything like that. You can utilize this decentralized Polyswarm security solution that allows basically crowdsourced security experts, which I think is pretty interesting. The dynamic there is pretty cool. And Steve's experience in the crypto space, he's been around for a while, actually been around for a really long time in crypto. So I like what they have going for them. They have a solid team and an advisory board as well. So I was a fan of Polyswarm, and hopefully they have not done an ICO yet, but I'd like to participate in the ICO when they do one. So that is another one. Dan Guido is also a very solid technical, the CEO of Trail Bits, very solid from a technical auditing perspective. So I'm interested in seeing how that one pans out. But I'd like to have where is he? Steve Bassi on one of the future episodes of Crypto Happy Hour. So that'd be cool. Another one that I liked was what do we got? Polymath. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if the ICO has gone down or not. I think they actually performed the initial ICO and then they're doing an airdrop following that. But Polymath is an interesting one. They're partnering up with basically what they're doing is they're working to create a securities token for blockchain, where Polymath is kind of the base layer of that. They're also working with what is going on. They're also working with T0, which is Overstock.com's recent arm, or kind of crypto arm. I got a chance to interact with a lot of the people on the Overstock.com and T0 team as well. So they were pretty solid. I like them quite a bit. But Polymath was another one. And then I'm trying to think, another one. One of the last ones I really liked quite a bit was Autonomy. So if you guys, if you are potentially a fan of IOTA, or if you are potentially a fan of some of the other Internet of Things plays, this is another one that I like quite a bit. So they already have an existing business in place. They're leveraging a lot of that. So they're creating a security protocol, basically an identity system and a security protocol for the Internet of Things. So basically doing almost like an ID system for your refrigerator or for your coffee machine or whatever it might be. So that was one of the other ones. And again, I don't have money in any of these. I would like to have the founder of Autonomy on. I'd like to have the founder of Polyswarm on. I'd like to have the founder of Wanchain on as well. So those are all things I spoke to all those individuals about coming on the show. So that should hopefully be happening sooner rather than later as well. So taking a look at some of these super chats here, a couple just came in. What is going on, SMK Sticks? What do you think about MED, Korean government investing? So I don't know too much about MED off the top of my head, to be pretty frank. I don't know. I mean, when So I don't know too much about these guys. I would have to do a little bit more due diligence on them. As far as the Korean government investing, I don't know the total background of that. I would make sure to ensure that that maybe rumor or whatever that might be, that is actually factual before you put money into something based specifically off of the quote unquote Korean government investing, because that is something that may or may not be true. I don't know. But a lot of those rumors that come out are just kind of rumors to pump up the coin, but maybe not the actual thing behind it. But I don't know too much about MediBlock, so I'll have to take a look. What are your thoughts on Syndicator using hybrid intelligence and AI in order to make calls on the market? They were mentioned in PBC, Palm Beach. I guess I'm not sure if PBC is referring to Palm Beach. If that is, Syndicator got pumped from Palm Beach. I mean, anything that gets pumped by Palm Beach, it's unfortunate because it's not necessarily a very natural thing. It's not natural by any stretch at all, and that can be something that can really I don't want to say it makes it difficult to look at the charts. It makes it difficult to look at the fundamentals when you have something like Palm Beach kind of jacking up the price of it, giving some level of a call. I didn't see anything of that nature at all. I'm not part of Palm Beach, so I don't really know anything when that goes down, other than just seeing rumors when people tweet things at me as far as Palm Beach pumping something. So specific thoughts on Syndicator, though, I know a few of my friends like it and have a good amount of money in Syndicator. I don't have any money in Syndicator personally, but it's definitely an interesting one for sure. Somebody said, will you consider making a video on Verge? I'm not a big fan of Verge, just me personally. That's my own thought process, my own opinion. The pattern that Verge has had where it went straight through the roof scares me to all hell, and I don't see a lot of signs of it kind of slowing back down. So I'm not, I don't know if Verge has had its time in the sun, but I personally have zero plans of putting my own money in it. So I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, I'm going to really analyze this one. And from a technical perspective, I think there's other privacy coins out there that you could probably do better with. Claudio BOC, what is up? Any thoughts on the new ICO Telecoin? I'll take a look. One thing I will say about ICOs, and I'll be pretty frank with it, a lot of these ICOs, so the token sale is now closed. A lot of these ICOs, because of the upcoming regulation, one thing you're going to want to be aware of is a lot of these ICOs, they are selling the majority of their tokens in private pre-sales. So they're selling the majority of their tokens in private pre-sales, and they are limiting them heavily to accredited investors. So if you're not an accredited investor, it sucks, but that is just the absolute blatant truth of it. And like I said, I don't sugarcoat things. I don't falsify anything. The days of somebody having a main sale where they throw up an Ethereum and they raise $100 million in 30 minutes and they don't do any KYC, or to be pretty frank, over, especially when you think about the SEC stuff going on at this point in time. What do I think about Deep Brain Chain? I haven't done a ton, so I've done I don't want to say a ton of work into Deep Brain Chain, but I've heard some criticisms of DBC, to be pretty frank, but I haven't done enough due diligence to see if any criticisms are valid, and that's one thing that you want to do. There are a lot of people that will come out and criticize cryptocurrencies. There are a lot of people that come out and say negative things. Even if you have money invested in them, you want to make sure that the criticisms are either valid or invalid, and you want to just ensure that even if there are criticisms out there, you don't just treat them as FUD, and you do proper due diligence on them. So for me, I've seen a little bit of maybe what some people would consider FUD. I've seen some people say Deep Brain Chain might be vaporware or something like that, or it's just not going to be developed enough. I don't. Let's see. I don't know enough about. I haven't confirmed any of that to say it is FUD. It's not FUD, but I need to do more research on DBC to see what the deal is with it. Hey, General Tony, what is up, dude? Appreciate that. Thoughts on BAT, Basic Attention Token? Interested in the advertising space. How do you think Basic Attention will go? Basic Attention Token, BAT, is an interesting one. So I'm not sure how many of you folks out there might be using the Brave browser. I would love to hear if you are. But I am a registered publisher on the Brave browser. So if you go to my YouTube channel and you watch any of my videos on my YouTube channel, you can choose to allocate a portion of your Basic Attention Token to me. And there are actually some of you guys that do that. So first of all, thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that. It's a very small portion. It might be something like $30 a month in Basic Attention Tokens or something of that nature. But it's a really interesting concept. So it's a really interesting concept. And I do, sorry, Greg, missed your super chat. I will get to yours next. Apologies, brother. I think Basic Attention Token has not a long way to go. They have a really solid team there that can definitely execute. I think that's one thing. But as far as people like voluntarily contributing, that's another thing. Like if people are forced to watch ads, they don't really have a choice, I guess. You can always run an ad blocker, and you can get these, CBS Live and SDQ off my computer and all that good stuff. But it's like a voluntary approach in a lot of respects. You don't necessarily need Basic Attention Token to use the Brave browser by any stretch. That's just kind of out of the goodness of your heart that you would donate Basic Attention Token to me, which a lot of people I would assume think is going to appreciate and value. So why would you want to do that? But I appreciate it if you do. Greg, sorry, again, I missed your super chat, man. Super concerned about your Tether tweet and researching the rumors. Thoughts after discussing with others in Miami. Are we sitting on a powder keg? Well, the founder of Tether actually presented in Miami. I thought that the founder of Miami was Raphael. I'll get to yours. There's kind of an order I got to go through, brother. Sorry about that. But the founder of Tether presented Miami. I kind of thought he was going to get booed. Nothing happened. But yeah, the level of which Tether is printing new money does scare me a bit. I am a little bit concerned about that, or a lot of bit concerned about that. I think people thought BitConnect was going to drop the market. Tether is pumping up the market, like, everything. So when all that goes down, I don't know. I am concerned about Tether. There's not all that much you can do, in my opinion, as far as protecting yourself from it, other than moving money into fiat, which the money in crypto that I have that's in crypto is kind of, I want it to be there. So, unless you set stop limit orders in GDAX or somewhere else, that's one thing. But if you're on Binance or Bittrex or something like that, if Tether goes bust, I don't think putting it back into Tether is probably going to be the smartest thing. A lot of it, can be quote unquote FUD, who knows? But I think Tether is probably the most, in my opinion, alongside government regulation, that is the most concerning thing to me in the crypto markets. Mel, what's up? Did you catch A-Chain Talk in Miami? I did not catch the A-Chain Talk. They were like one of the primary sponsors in Miami, though. They were definitely one of the primary sponsors in Miami. And that is something, that's something you want to take a look at. So I didn't have a chance to speak to them either, or kind of give them the full run through, stop by their booth at this point in time. But yeah, they were definitely one of they were very prominent in Miami, and they were one of the premier sponsors. Somebody said, Raphael, what are your thoughts on using bots for trading? This one specifically, Profit Trailer. So I have no idea what Profit Trailer is, to be pretty frank. But somebody said, where's my face? My camera broke, so apologies on that. Or my software broke with the camera. So you're just getting my screen. But as far as any trading bots, in my opinion, if there is a trading bot out there that offers you their services for a specific amount of money, it's probably a scam. If somebody has a trading bot that actually works, they would make a lot more money just from running that trading bot than they would selling it to you. So that is something you want to keep in mind. BitConnect had a trading bot, and that trading bot is no longer in place because there was not a trading bot there. That was a Ponzi scheme. I have no idea what Profit Trailer is, to be honest. But again, my thought process on trading bots is if it's a real trading bot, they would rather be making money on their own than they would be at, than they would be selling that to somebody else. John, what's up? Great vid on Ether Delta. Don't understand how to deposit. Can you deposit ETH from GDAX or Binance, or must transfer with a ledger? How about MetaMask? Yes, you can deposit ETH from GDAX or Binance. You would simply need to create a new account on Ether Delta. So you would need to create a new account on Ether Delta by doing, just to be frank, yeah, that might be my favorite expression, I guess. So you need to go here on Ether Delta. You would need to select new account. It would provide you with a public key and a private key. You would send your ETH to that private key from either GDAX or Binance, and then that would be your new, basically your Ether Delta account in the future that you can utilize. Or if you have a Ledger or a MetaMask, those are both easy as well. Taking a look at some of these questions here. Longtime viewer, first time caller, thoughts on BitConnect X? Please no, please no, please no. Don't do this to me, folks. Don't do this to me. So I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's a bunch of strange characters. Modem will be at the TCL Temperature-Controlled Logistics Conference in London, 30th of January. Should we expect the NDA of the 5 billion companies to be lifted by then? So I haven't done a ton of due diligence in Modem. I do know one of the guys that I trust basically the most in the crypto world. That one of the guys that I trust pretty much the most out of anybody in the crypto world invested in the Modem ICO and hasn't sold a dime of it. So that's something that somebody within that like meetup group, I went down to Miami with him, and he's one of the people that I look to when it comes to investing in ICOs and kind of thinking about all this stuff. He has a good portion of Modem. It's one of his favorite plays. The supply chain industry is really interesting. I got a chance to put a little bit of money into the Origin Trail ICO too. So that's another, not necessarily the same thing at all, but kind of in a similar boat to some of the other supply chain plays. BitNinja Supply, what's up, brother? What's up, Adam? Nothing better than happy hour at the gym when we starting the Gainscoin ICO. So I haven't gone to the gym a lot lately. I've been pretty caught up in the crypto. World, unfortunately. And now I am getting winded when I make videos. So I think I'm actually going to get back to the gym tomorrow because I'm getting fat from drinking too much beer, eating too many buffalo chicken wraps, and overall just hasn't been a healthy month so far for me. Ross D, what's up, dude? Appreciate Ross D. Everybody shout out to Ross D, who had the balls to go up to, I don't remember what booth it was, what conference it was, but Ross D literally went up to a BitConnect representative in California at a booth and was like, yo, dude, you're running a fraud. And the guy was like, no, I'm not. Fast forward to like 2 months later and they're out of business. So, hey-o. Thoughts on XWin ICO? We can take a look. No, I can't spell, right? Crypto betting. Yeah, Buffalo Chicken Wrap does sound bomb right now. So they have raised $2.8 million. Respectable, I suppose. I don't know too much about these guys. I don't know if, I don't know. I don't know too much about these guys, to be pretty frank. I'd have to look into it more to see if, a little bit to see if they're, legit or not, and kind of what the deal is with these folks. So I don't know too much about them, but I can definitely do a little bit more diligence. Maybe if I'm healthy, the market will get healthy again. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't be. But still eat buffalo chicken wraps, so I'll tell you that much. So somebody said, should I try and time the Bitcoin futures market to buy and sell positions? I mean, you could try that, but to be honest, if that's kind of the approach that you have, there is certainly an opportunity that you're taking a strategy that you're looking at from a historical perspective and saying, okay, this is going to happen again in the future. And there's somebody else on the other side of that order that knows that you're thinking that and is going to adjust their order accordingly. So that is, that's, I don't know. That's definitely something you want to be concerned with. Last week, I asked about AGI, Singularity.net, prior to trade start. Thoughts now that it's 8x. Where to from here? Still just hype. Cheers. Singularity raised, if I'm not mistaken, Singularity, let's see, AGI raised, I think $30-something million in like less than a couple minutes. Something crazy. Where are they trading at right now? I'll take a look. KuCoin. So I'm sure that helps that they're on KuCoin and not just on like TideX or Ether Delta. But they have, I don't know. I am not, for me personally, I didn't get in on the ICO, and I'm not the type of person who's going to buy something when it's gone up 8x after the ICO. So that's, if you got in on the ICO, freaking congrats on that. That's a hell of a move. As a lot of you guys know, I'm not the type of person that likes to buy in after something's already gone up. I'd like to find something that hasn't already spiked through the roof. The one thing I will say there, though, too, is that like ICO season, I talked about it before, but I really do think like ICO season is back. Like it is, the people see something like Singularity.net making an 8x return, meaning you put 10 grand into Singularity.net, you could sell those tokens for $80,000 now. That's a freaking ridiculous move. You took 10 grand, you can sell that and you can buy yourself 2 luxury cars, or you can buy yourself 1 luxury car and save the rest for taxes. But yeah, I mean, it's an incredible return, and I think there are other ICOs that have come out like it, and more that will come out like it as well. Again, the one thing there, though, is did you get in on a pre-sale? Did you get in on the main sale? Was there even a main sale? I've seen quite a bit of hype around ICX on Twitter. What are your thoughts? Late to the stream, so sorry if you already mentioned it. Mr. Black Sheep, what is up, brother? I did not mention ICX yet. ICX has obviously done really well. Obviously done very, very well. As far as the hype goes, sometimes hype scares me, because usually when something gets super, super hyped up, that's like the time when you should sell. So, and John, to that point as well, it looks like we had 2 back-to-back questions on ICX, mainnet launch summit this month. A lot of times I feel like crypto trades up into those events and then afterwards will pull back. So that could potentially happen with ICX. I don't have any holdings of ICX. Pantera is obviously a massive, massive deal. They're legit. They have a couple legit. They have a few legit folks backing them as well. I haven't done a full diligence on, I haven't done a full due diligence on the team itself. I know who Don Tapscott is and some of the other advisors that they have there as well. But as far as the actual team behind it, I haven't done a full bit of due diligence. But I wouldn't doubt if ICX, if Icon trades up, or at least trades up in comparison to Bitcoin in advance of the mainnet launch and summit later this month. That wouldn't surprise me. Somebody said, are you giving up on crypto? Why would I be giving up on crypto if I'm literally on this channel right now talking? Sasan, what is up? Thoughts on HPB and INT? High performance blockchain and internet node token. I feel like these were both brought up fairly recently. Kind of in that similar, I would say like smallish to mid cap range. I guess it's pretty crazy that we now consider maybe mid cap or like mid caps to be $150 million in that range. So no, Zeron, I'm getting to it, brother. But thoughts on either of these? I haven't done a full bit of due diligence on them yet. I know a couple people have asked about high performance blockchain before and what this might mean. but I haven't done the full rundown on either of these bad boys yet. So I need to, take a look into that to see, if it's something that I think has any legit tech background or kind of what the full deal is on that. As far as INS, I'll hold off on that because I haven't done a ton on INS. Substratum, I know, is a favorite of a lot of individuals out there. So Substratum's definitely a favorite of a lot of folks. The decentralized web theory, that sales pitch, I think that's something that resonates quite a bit with people. And I think it's helped to strongly value the crypto. So that's something you want to keep in mind when you look at, Substratum. Is it tech that will ever fully come to fruition? I haven't used it, so I don't personally know. I can't really comment on that, but it does fall under that category, which I think is important in a lot of respects. It does do a bit of help when you can actually explain in cryptocurrency pretty much in a one sentence thesis, in a one sentence theory of, it's an open source internet, it's an open source decentralized web. It'll help you avoid a lot of the government regulations, things like that. So something to keep in mind. Starsky Conway, I'm new to crypto and bought ETH when it was kind of high, around 1,400. Any tips or suggestions? So, I mean, you basically bought the top of Ethereum. Is that the worst thing in the world? I don't know. Not necessarily. Does it suck? Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, 1,400 is basically the top, pretty much literally the top of Ethereum. Do I think it can get back to that? Sure. As far as specific suggestions based upon that, I would say that, it is, when you buy the top, it can hurt. It's hard to know when the top is coming because you could have looked at, we'll zoom out on the daily chart here. You could have looked at any of these times previously with Ethereum and said, okay, this might be the top, 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 all the way up, and you would have missed out some gains here. But you finally get to might get to $1,400, and then it dips off the mountain. To be pretty frank, I mean, it's your personal choice as far as what you want to do. I mean, would I hold? I don't know. Ethereum will hopefully get back there for you. I have no idea where Ethereum's going to go. I know a lot of people are pretty bullish on the ETH chart when that move happened, but that it could be a fairly rough move. But that's what that's the danger of buying into. And I talk about it, but not a lot of people like to hear me out on it. But when you buy into, especially with something as large as Ethereum, when you're buying into maybe like a 50+% movement, there's a chance for a pretty significant pullback. And unfortunately, that's what happens. So I think it's just a learning experience, Starsky. I don't know specifically what the best advice for you there would be, though, to be pretty frank. Adrian Moore, I appreciate it. Sorry about, I appreciate the $1.28, man. I don't know if you have any questions, Adrian, but definitely hit me up. Ross D mentioned AirSwap thoughts. So I like AirSwap. I like 0x. I think both AirSwap and 0x have some pretty legitimate potential. Decentralized exchanges are one of my biggest interests moving forward in 2017, and I am very much interested to see how they do over, I'm very much interested to see how they do over 2018. 0x, obviously a larger market cap right now than 0x is quite a larger market cap than AirSwap is. So I think that might be a potential point of interest for some individuals. You have 0x at an $836 million valuation. Then you have something like AirSwap at $142 million valuation. So it's definitely cheaper in comparison, but I hold on to both at this point in time. My fiat value is more with 0x, but that's because I bought a similar amount of 0x and a similar amount of AirSwap back a while ago, and they've both done well. So somebody else mentioned KNC not solid. No, Kyber Network is solid as well. Each of them are just choosing a very different way to approach the crypto world, approach decentralized exchanges. You can do a little bit. It's fairly complicated in nature as far as the different manners in which they are, whether it's on-chain, whether there's a level of Oracle, how they are approaching a decentralized exchange, but they all have some subtle minutia about how they're doing things. So getting into some of these questions here, taking a look. So thoughts on the Telcoin. So I think I looked at this previously. I don't think I gave a great answer. I haven't done any research on Telcoin. Looks like they raised their $25 million limit, so good for them. Nice to see somebody, sell out of their ICO. As far as the specifics of what Telcoin is trying to do, to be pretty frank, I have not the slightest idea. But yeah, I guess it's telecommunications on the blockchain. I really don't know. But I'll have to take a look. I mean, raising 25 mil in a pre-sale, that's kind of a nice sweet spot. You want to see that. I think anything above $30 million right now might be fairly aggressive, depending upon what you're looking at. Biyaga Lakshmi, every time you speak about 0x and AirSwap, are you pumping? Yes, dude, I am just pumping everything. It's Bobby the Pumper. Bobby the Pumper, what is up? Shout out to everybody that wants to say that. Just for future thoughts, anytime I mention a cryptocurrency, if I like a cryptocurrency, if I don't like a cryptocurrency, make your own decisions. I am not a financial advisor. I literally don't have a financial background. I have a tech background. I like talking about cryptocurrency. I have a good time talking to you guys about it, but I am not trying to pump any cryptocurrency. I really doubt that the size of my audience could pump a cryptocurrency. I have no interest in doing so. I have a full-time job. I really don't need to pump a cryptocurrency to pay my bills. So just an FYI, do your own research on every single thing. Even if I say I like it, if I say I hate it, every financial decision out there is your own, and I wish you guys the best of luck. But yeah, I'm here to hang out, talk to you guys. Right now, drink Diet Dr. Pepper because I'm tired. But thoughts on Qhash or Quash. We've talked about these guys a little bit in the past. I still haven't gotten around to researching Quash. As far as the providing liquidity there, that is something that I talked about a little bit last time, but as far as the ability to provide liquidity, I think one of the biggest issues with crypto right now is a lack of liquidity. I don't know how they are. I don't know. Yeah, Quash. I don't know how they are, I don't know how they are specifically providing the liquidity. I haven't done the full bit of due diligence into that, but yeah, I'll have to dive in. I mean, they're at a $500 million valuation, so that is something that I'll definitely be interested in checking out. I'll throw that on the list. I'll throw that on the list for sure. So, Rupesh, what's up? Given the hype around Wanchain, do you buy as soon as it drops on the exchanges or wait for a pullback, debating on what I should do? I will probably buy a little bit as soon as it hits exchanges. Hopefully it hits Binance. I don't know, too. And it's not confirmed by any stretch. I think people are just wishfully thinking that it's going to hit exchanges. So, I will likely try to acquire Wanchain as soon as I can, or WAN. It is WAN, not Wanchain. It's WAN chain and WAN coin, like wide area network, because that's literally what it's named after. But it's WAN chain, WAN coin. Sorry for the mispronunciation there because I'm stupid. But yeah, I will likely try to buy a good amount as soon as it drops in the exchanges, and I will also have a little bit in reserve in case it pulls back. But I do think that there is according to basically everybody I spoke to in Miami, they're all like, "Yeah, where's that WAN coin? Where's that WAN coin? Where is it? Or where's that WAN coin? Where's that WAN coin?" So that's something that I will definitely be taking a look at. If you post TRX, hashtag Tron, what do we got here? Hide user on this channel. Peace. So somebody else mentioned thoughts on U.S. citizens using VPNs to get into ICOs. I know there are not any firm U.S. laws outlawing ICOs, but isn't fraud committed by breaching the ICO issuer's contract terms? So I mean, to be pretty frank, yeah, I'm not gonna be like the BitConnect guys and tell you to utilize VPNs to skirt securities laws, because I have a brain and I don't want to get in trouble with the Securities and Exchange Commission and or go to jail. So I mean, yes, U.S. citizens can utilize VPNs to get around ICOs that are not from the, that are restricting U.S. investors. However, most ICOs nowadays not only understand that people are using VPNs to get around ICOs, but they're also requiring some level of KYC for that. So whether it's a passport or an ID or something like that. So most ICOs have smartened up to that because if they don't want U.S. citizens in, they don't want U.S. citizens in because they're petrified. So something to think about. Nguyen Almonte, thank you very much for the super chat. I don't see a question there, so if I missed it, I'm sorry about that. Let me know. Somebody said, but how are we supposed to invest? If they don't allow U.S. investors in, then you're not supposed to invest. That's the thing. There's a reason that they don't want U.S. investors in. Not all ICOs are saying that, but not all ICOs want U.S. investors in because that opens them up to U.S. security laws, that opens them up to the SEC, to a lot of other regulations that are a lot stricter in the U.S. than they are in other countries. So thoughts on crypto turning into Wall Street 2.0? I don't know about that, but I don't know about crypto turning into Wall Street 2.0. One thing I will say is there are a lot of hedge funds in this space. Basically, every other person I talked to in Miami had some type of hedge fund, and those are a lot of the people that are getting into those are a lot of people that are getting into these ICO deals and making an absolute killing. So I don't know about crypto turning into Wall Street 2.0 yet. I think a lot of Wall Street, is just kind of doing, kind of continuing to chug along. But I also did meet a lot of people, and I met a few people that, left Wall Street literally to be full time in crypto. So that was pretty cool too. Uni, amen to that. Thank you, brother. Rick Solano, your thoughts on Cardano? When will Charles join us for happy hour? So I still have a good bit of Cardano personally. A lot of people are going after some random Joe Schmo dude was going after me about Cardano today, saying I pumped Cardano because I bought it in like mid-November at 250 Satoshis or whatever it was, and now it's up to 5,000. So, the horrors of a 1,500% profit. Yes, it's pullback. Yes, the chart does not look great. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say like, yeah, you really want to buy Cardano right now. But I also will say this too. When Cardano was way up here, I did say specifically, Cardano is up like 3,000%. Probably not the time to buy in. I will say that if it's a coin I own, if it's a coin I don't own, if something is up 2,000 something percent, 1,000% over the course of a month, I would not recommend buying into that cryptocurrency. Whether it's something like Cardano, which I do think has a really legit team behind it, or if it's anything else on the planet. I think that that's a scary move, and I think that if you bought the top, that's been really unfortunate because Cardano has pulled back 40-something% since the all-time highs. So, that's something you want to concern yourself with. I'm still holding on a good amount of my Cardano. I do think that it has long-term potential. It is a long-term hold for me. I would love to have Charles on for Crypto Happy Hour. I've been going back and forth with his secretary or his assistant, his executive assistant. He has got a pretty busy schedule for traveling, but I would love to have Charles on. I think he's one of the sharpest dudes in the industry, so I would love to have him on. That would be fantastic. What do you think about the Kyber network plus Icon partnership plus WAN chain joining them soon? Seems like the most dominant network on the market. I do like when crypto networks companies partner up. I think that is a huge thing. I think that's a big value add as far as how that partnership develops. It could be very interesting. I do think the interoperability and the cross-chain transactions that WAN might allow, very interesting. How that combines with Kyber and Icon, I don't specifically know. And how that partnership is, I haven't seen any specific information about that. But I do really, and I truly do like when I see partnerships between these companies, because that is what's going to be required for the industry to continue to develop. Somebody said, please talk about Salt. Is it a Ponzi? Salt is not, at least in my opinion, not a Ponzi. I met with the Salt team. That was actually another team that I met in person. So Salt is not the crappy thing about something like BitConnect is that it makes anything that has lending attached to it, now people think that that's BitConnect, and that is not the case. Salt is actually like a legit company. They're based in Denver. They have actual founders. Like you can go on their website and see like, oh wow, this is the CEO. This is the compliance officer. This is the operations officer, blah, blah, blah. You can actually see who are the people there in person. You can see, who is involved. Eric Voorhees is an advisor. There are a couple other advisors there as well that I think are legit. But Salt is interesting because what it allows you to do, just so you know that it's not a quote-unquote Ponzi scheme, and I hope it's, not, but I don't think it is. But it's definitely not like BitConnect where you quote unquote lend it money and then it pays you back BitConnect tokens. Basically what happens is the use case for Salt is that let's say you bought a bunch of Bitcoin early on and you have $1 million of Bitcoin in your Bitcoin wallet, but you're Bitcoin rich, but you're cash poor. So you're Bitcoin rich, but you're cash poor, and you want to, let's say, buy a house, or you want to buy a house, or you want to maybe repair your house. And let's say you need $200,000 for a down payment on a house, but you don't want to cash out your Bitcoin because you think it's going to be valuable, and you have money, but you want to use your Bitcoin as collateral to take out a loan. So with Salt, you would put up your $1 million of BitConnect as collateral. They would give you $200,000 in cash, and then you would repay back that loan in cash. Now, there's a couple different stipulations as far as how things move when it comes down to, if your $1 million in Bitcoin all of a sudden goes down to like $500,000 or $400,000 or close to the value of your loan. They have some different things in place as far as the volatility, because Bitcoin is obviously a volatile asset, but that is, I think it's a really interesting use case for sure with Salt. And I was impressed by the team. I met them there in person. I am not particularly crypto cash rich. I'm not one or the other. So I don't really have a use for Salt. But a couple years ago when I did a renovation on my house, I would have loved to use something like Salt. That would have been pretty cool. So Brett Southwick said, "Will you stake your Cardano when that goes live?" Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. I'd like to stake Cardano when it goes live. I'd also like to potentially stake Ethereum when that goes live. I think you need a pretty fat wallet of Ethereum to actually stake that. You might need a fat wallet of Cardano to stake that. So there also might be the concept of staking pools as well. So certainly something to consider there too. Thoughts on Polymath? It has a huge demand, but I wonder how many of the 50,000 people on their Telegram are accredited or otherwise qualified to invest. I met the Polymath team. I met the co-founder. I met the lead engineers. I met them at multiple events. They were very solid, very intelligent. I think that they have a pretty solid product. As far as getting in the ICO, I don't know if the ICO is already over. It might have closed out. They might have, to my knowledge, just done like a pre-sale. I don't know if they're going to a main sale. I could be mistaken, but regardless, even if they haven't finished the ICO, it might be tough to get in on the ICO. So one thing I would say there is, I think there's a huge pent-up demand for it. It could be the platform for securitized tokens, and if it is that's a massive, massive market. And that's something a lot of people point to. So I don't have any Polymath, but I would. In addition to WanCoin, I would certainly consider Polymath once it hits exchanges, if it hits exchanges. So somebody said, have you heard the Invest Like the Best podcast with Preston Byrne? What are your thoughts on, let's just see. So yeah, I do follow Preston Byrne on Twitter. I actually like. I think Preston Byrne. A lot of people like to say, crypto's going to the moon. Everything is great. Everything's wonderful. Everything is awesome. Blah 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 blah. Preston Byrne is somebody who's going to give you a good dose of reality, or at least give you a little bit of fear in your heart. And some people might not like that. I personally like that. Sometimes I see his tweets and I'm like, God, you gotta rain on my parade. But other times I do think that it's like, there is something behind what he's saying, and the speculation in the market is really there. So I personally think that Preston Byrne is somebody that you should follow on Twitter, and here, we could pull it up here. There we go, Preston Byrne. So I think he is somebody that you should follow on Twitter. He is he's basically a crypto bear. He thinks the crypto markets have gotten out of hand. And that's something you need to hear the opposite ends of the spectrum. And if you don't want to listen to them, fine, then don't. But you should listen to the opposite ends of the spectrum for sure. Thoughts on the ad bank ICO working on cutting ad fraud and connecting publishers working to directly to advertisers, less need for ad network middlemen. I've seen a couple of these different. There was another, I don't remember who the other, I don't know who the other presenter was. There was another presenter at, I don't think these guys were at the Miami Bitcoin conference, but there was another conference that somebody else had an ICO that's kind of accomplishing the same thing. Seems like there are a lot of people trying to do this where we're removing ad fraud. There's definitely a lot of ad fraud, but as far as like the need for cutting out the middleman, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Like, I don't understand how cutting out, like for me, like how cutting out maybe something like Google AdSense does anything for me. I don't necessarily need to be connected to the advertisers. I guess it would help if I wanted to remove ads, like if I wanted to remove Craig Grant, the man, the myth, the legend, who's still slinging that BitConnect game. If I wanted to remove him from advertising, maybe that would be cool if I could use AdBank for that. But outside of that, I don't know. So somebody mentioned, do I ELF versus Saya? I do have some ELF token. I am pretty bullish on ELF in the long term. But again, that's just my preference. I have some friends that have recommended them quite a bit, and I know that they are working with some pretty big companies, some pretty big funds, some pretty big PR agencies in the space. So that's kind of why I'm bullish on ELF. So taking a look at some more of these questions here as well. Grab any Nebulous? Yeah, I did grab some Nebulous. I don't want to say I bought the top on Nebulous. I need to update my portfolio on the website. But I bought Nebulous at around $12. So the entire crypto market is pretty much down since I bought ELF. But I don't know if it's held its Bitcoin value. It's kind of probably been about par. But yeah, I bought in the low. I bought ELF at around $12, and I cost averaged in a little bit more at around $11. I like, not ELF, Nebulous, NAS. I like NAS. I think it's one of the cryptocurrencies. It's kind of one of my moonshot plays. It's not massive. It's 340 mil. I did not get in the ICO. It's a recent ICO crypto. But when it comes down to what they're trying to do, I think it's one of the ones that has potential. I think people can look at this and say, oh my God, this is a decentralized Google. And while it's definitely not that, and there's a lot more beyond that. I mean, you got the former, one of the founders of AntShare/Neo. You have another former founder of another former AntShares founder as well. This guy, the founder here, Zhu, worked at Ant Financial, which is Alibaba's financial arm. They have some solid backing. They have some solid advisors. There's just the team in place is kind of what I like to see. So that's my bet is on the team and just kind of the hype train getting behind them, to be pretty frank. What about Titanium Blockchain, BAR? These guys are a recent ICO, if I'm not mistaken. I have no idea. I saw a lot of people pumping this one online. 35 million bars sold. And the bars are now worth, so they sold 70 mil in an ICO, more than 70 mil. That's impressive. I literally have no idea what Titanium does. Infrastructure, not exactly sure what the infrastructure is for, but yeah, I don't know what they raised at. I don't know what the price was. I would assume that accredited. Hey, they got the BBB there. They're good. They Gucci. But I haven't done a lot of research. I saw a couple like YouTubers pumping this and saying, Titanium blockchain is going to be the best thing ever. But I have no idea why they said that. Tezos, were they in Miami? No, they were not in Miami. They were not in Miami. I don't think a lot of people would want to see them in Miami. They are still chilling on. They are still chilling on I believe, still chilling on the Treasury funds and having some issues with that as well. Hey Gucci. Somebody said no camera. Yeah, my software broke, so you don't get to see my ugly face tonight. I hope you can be okay. Can you speak up? Somebody said price was $1 at ICO. So I mean, if that's, I have no idea where that where that's trading right now. I could always go back and see, but I'm kind of lazy. But I mean, if you pull in an immediate 1x on an ICO investment, hell, that's you can't argue with that. And again, it's kind of ICO season right now until it's not. What is mining? Like mining for a Bitcoin? No, mining for coal. Tron, he's scared. I mean, if you guys want to talk about Tron, we can talk about Tron. I don't hate Tron. I know a lot of people do, but I don't hate Tron. I'm not going to sit here and bash it or whatever. I just wouldn't touch it personally. I mean, I don't know. It had an incredible run in December. Tron crushed it. If you got in early on, you absolutely murdered it. And I am a fan of anybody making profits on anything in the crypto world right now, other than somebody scamming you with a lending program. Everything else, good on you. Make that money, do your thing, crush it. But I mean, when you look at Tron, starting in December, it made a 13,000% gain. 13,000%. That is redonkulous. Even from December right now, it's still at 4,000%. I still wouldn't touch it. If you bought the tippity top of Tron, you're down 70%. If you bought the realistic candle close, you're still down 50%. I don't know. It's still up 4,000% since December 1st, which scares me. And yeah, I don't know. To be pretty frank, the one thing I will say too, and some people might like it, some people might not. I am not a fan of the way. So where is it? I'm not. To be pretty frank, I'm not the biggest fan of just the way Justin Sun, the founder, kind of pumps up Tron in a way. If we go back, it focuses a lot on the actual price of the cryptocurrency. Whereas I'd just much rather see updates about the tech. That's just kind of my opinion, where there are a lot of things about getting on exchanges and talking about the price and saying, hey, we're beating Litecoin and things like that. And now I think he's gotten better at it now, because I think he's gotten a little bit of criticism, so good on him. But I think initially he was kind of pumpy, and I'm not a fan of that. But I think he's learning from it, so good on good on him, I guess. So somebody said Tron is still heavily overvalued for the stage they are at. You could definitely say that. You could also say that for a lot of other crypto out there too. So I know a lot of people, kind of say, Rob, you hate Tron, you hate all these ones, blah blah blah. But you have Cardano and they're overvalued, and you could certainly make the mistake that Cardano is overvalued as well. I will definitely take that argument. I will definitely say, yeah, you know what, Cardano might be overvalued, but I also do personally, at least just in my opinion, personally believe that Cardano has a better long-term chance from a technical perspective than something like Tron might have. That's my opinion. But again, my opinion is not your opinion. We don't have to have the same opinion. You can think I'm a total moron, a total idiot, and I very well could be. So somebody said, what percentage of your portfolio is VeChain now? VeChain is actually the second largest holding in my portfolio for the time being, because VeChain has absolutely positively crushed it. So VeChain, at one point in time, Cardano was my second largest holding. At one point in time, 0x was my second largest holding. VeChain has come out and absolutely murdered it. Can't we all just get along? I'd prefer for us all, Carl. I'd prefer for us all just to get along as well. That's my preference. If we could just have a good time, have a couple beers, relax, enjoy it, talk shop, talk crypto, enjoy our night, that would be the preference. Heard of AWR coin, lots of partnerships. Partnerships with who? Partnerships with what? So I guess another recent ICO, perhaps, if it's just been trading since January 15th. Decentralized investment management community to make innovative assets more liquid. I don't know too much about these folks, so I don't want to, I don't want to provide commentary one way or another. So yeah, I don't want to provide commentary one way, other way, whatever it might be. Somebody said, "What do I do to make what do I buy to make a shitload of money?" If I had a magic crystal ball to let you know, I would be taking advantage of it myself, but I do not have that magic crystal ball. So, fortunately, you got to do some research and try and figure it out on your own. I have the crypto that I like, but not everybody likes the crypto I like. I don't always like the crypto that everybody else likes, but I don't think there's one magic crypto out there that's going to make you rich. And if they want to keep scrolling down to see the partnerships, okay, let's keep scrolling down. Angel Series, early blockchain projects, Qtum, A-Chain. I mean, that's good to see. Yeah, it's definitely good to see. If I weren't 12 years old, how many chicks could I get with a Lambo? I'm going to say that you want to consider the cost of insurance and maintenance on a Lambo before you worry about how many chicks you can get. So, they're not the best cars by any stretch. But if you're sitting here watching Crypto Happy Hour at 12 years old, I'm going to yell at your parents. But outside of that, good luck in the crypto game, brother. Flu coin? Ticks mooning. What do we got here? Where's some good questions? Give me some good questions. So LRC Loopring has airdrops. Thoughts? Take a look. And they're worth $1 billion at one point. Decentralized exchange, open protocol, order sharing. So I don't want to call this the Asian 0x or the Asian Kyber, but it might be. I mean, if they're partnered with Qtum, they're partnered with Neo. FBG is behind like every big Asian crypto that's pumping through the roof. So if you look at a big Asian crypto, you're going to see FBG on it. So that's something that is fairly positive. I haven't done the full due diligence on Loopring to see how they might really make me download it. You can't just have it on a website. I haven't done the full run through to see how these guys might compare specifically to 0x, Kyber, AirSwap, whatever other decentralized exchanges are out there. So let me see. Let me go up here too. Somebody said, does anybody actually care about... what do we got? That was a good question. Does anybody actually care about blockchain tech, or has this become a global casino? It's definitely, I would say, very much right now focused on being a global casino. Like let's not ignore the fact that it is very much a global casino. The crypto world is. I personally am very interested in the tech. I think the tech is super interesting. Depending whether it's decentralized exchanges, whether it is proof of stake, whether it might be cross-chain protocols. There are a lot of things from a technical perspective that are fascinating me right now. Smart contract auditing, and there are a lot of things out there that really appeal to me. However, I do think that the speculation in the crypto market is a lot greater than the technical interest at this point in time, at least from the newbies, because it's a lot easier to just speculate and gamble than it is to actually take the time to understand the tech. So just my thoughts there. I would say, though, however, even if you are a speculator, understanding the technology, understanding decentralization is certainly a massive benefit to you as an individual investor. Harish, any updates on the BitConnect Miami spoof? So I decided not to do a BitConnect Miami spoof. I didn't want to. I gave my thoughts on BitConnect. I made the video on it. I was probably even more aggressive than I should have been. Maybe I should have popped the bottle. Maybe I shouldn't have popped the bottle. But I am really, to be pretty frank, I am really like sad for a lot of the people that did invest in BitConnect. Like the people that had no idea what was coming for them. I am very, very sad for those people. I think there are a lot of people that literally got their guts ripped out and they're down 90% right now, and there's still BitConnect promoters out there telling them to keep doing it. What makes me angry is that the BitConnect promoters out there, the guys on YouTube, the jackasses on YouTube that were promoting it, were at literally like on their, had their mansions and they're in their sweet new apartments and their, new cars, and talking about how rich they were and showing everybody their Bitcoin wallets and saying, hey, I'm literally rich. I have all this Bitcoin because, I invested in BitConnect and you should too. And now they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't tell you to invest in BitConnect. That was your own fault, guys. That was your own fault. Like, that's a complete, absolute joke, a complete falsehood. So I am still like, I don't want to harp on BitConnect too much anymore, just because I do feel bad, and I don't want to like make fun of anybody that that lost money in it. But the people that still promoted it, like those just absolute scumbags on YouTube that were promoting it, and now they're trying to say like, yo, that was your fault, guys. Like, I didn't make you invest in that. Like, you guys knew exactly what you were doing. You literally knew exactly what you were doing. When you're making $1 million from BitConnect referrals and you're making like $100,000 from the loans, you knew exactly what you were doing. So that is, it's a joke. So I didn't do the BitConnect Miami spoof, but I'll just say screw all the guys that are still promoting that, still talking about it, and or didn't just exist, delete themselves off the face of the earth after that. And yeah, I think karma's a bitch. So do you run a full Bitcoin node? Why? Do I mine anything? Why? Right now I'm not running a full Bitcoin node at this point in time. I got a newer laptop, so I haven't set it up yet. But I am actually looking to run a new. To run a full Bitcoin node in the future. I'd like to just have that happening from a technical perspective. I think it's good for the community. So I would like to run a full Bitcoin node. I am not personally mining anything right now. I don't really have a mining setup. So I'm not personally mining anything at this point in time, but I do like mining. I got started in cryptocurrency mining. Dogecoin, because I literally couldn't afford to buy cryptocurrency, so I took my laptop and was mining, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I still do, but you need to have specialized hardware, GPUs, all that stuff. But I would love to be mining more often. Caleb Hunter, what's up, dude? Love your vids. I have no spare money to buy right now, but hold a few coins. Any strategy suggestions to profit from this global dip without just buying more? Holding can get boring. I don't know. To be honest, if you don't have a clear strategy going into it, and you're asking me what a strategy is, not to say that negatively, but as far as it goes, people get in a lot of trouble when they say, "Oh wow, the market's dipping." I have some crypto, and I don't have any more money. Like let's say I have 10 grand of crypto, just in general. I have 10 grand of crypto. The market's dipping right now. Bitcoin's going down a little bit. I think it's going to go down to $8,000. So I'm going to sell my Bitcoin at $10,000. I'm going to buy back in when it hits 8. And I didn't buy any more crypto, but now I increase my position. The problem, and everybody's like, yo, just sell high, buy low, whatever. A lot of people, a lot of newbies especially, will sell at $10,000, and then maybe Bitcoin dips to $9,500. But all of a sudden, there's it shoots back up, and it goes to $9,000, or it goes to $11,000, it goes to $10,000, then $10,500, then $11,000, and you're sitting there like, oh my God, what's happening? I just wanted to increase my position, and now all of a sudden I had $10,000, or I had $10,000 for the Bitcoin, and now I can't even buy the same amount of Bitcoin that I had before. So that's something that happens pretty often and very much all the time. Power is pumping. You really do pump coins. Yes, because I have a massive investment in Power. No, I'm kidding. I don't. I've always been salty that I didn't get on Power. I've always been salty. Good on everybody that got in on Power, though. That was a missed... When I look at missed opportunities, that was a massive missed opportunity for me. Massive missed opportunity. What are my thoughts on Neblio? That is one that I've done a little bit of research on Neblio. There's other enterprise platforms that I might have that I'm a little bit more interested in personally than Neblio, but I think they have a decent team in place. But I don't personally have any money in Neblio at this point in time, so yeah, we'll have to see what happens. There's certainly other people out there that really like Neblio, but it's just, I don't know. There's other places where, for me, like I said, if we're talking about an enterprise blockchain or kind of a next-gen platform, there's other places where I think I'd rather make that bet, although the market cap, the size of itself is fairly attractive. Thank you very much, Devin. Appreciate the super chat. What's up, Michael? Drinking a local IPA. That sounds delicious. That sounds wonderful. Would love to join you on that. No doubt about it. I'm out of my Dr. Pepper, so I'm now drinking high-quality Poland Spring H2O water. Poland Spring water is the GOAT. I don't care what anybody else says. Crisco mentioned, Bobby, did you notice nobody is yelling HODL anymore? They all gave up. Yeah, it's a good indoctrination into, or it's a good introduction into the markets for a lot of people. It's definitely a good introduction into the market. Download Core Wallet and open port 833 lazy Bobby. Yeah, Adrian, I'm not gonna say that I'm not lazy and that I haven't been lazy. So it's, yeah, I've definitely been lazy. As you can tell by my OBS software, I'm definitely lazy when it comes to software and updating software. So I should be running a full node right now, but I'm just not. It's on my old laptop. It's not my current laptop. Adam Nielsen, I stopped drinking. It's probably for the best because the only 2 times I bought the top were while being drunk. Yes, do not drink and trade crypto. Repeat, do not drink and trade crypto. Steven, what's up, man? Thoughts on WePower, the next power ledger? So, let's see. We'll take a look, see if we can find it. So, let's see if there's still if the ICO is still going on. The ICO happens in 9 days. 158,000 people waiting. That's pretty large. That's not small by any stretch. I wasn't planning personally on participating in this ICO. As far as energy goes for me, it's not something that as far as energy goes for me, it's not something that I like love. But I mean, again, I missed out on the Power Ledger ICO because I was stubborn, and I had an opportunity to get, like I said, to get free tokens in the Power Ledger ICO and actually turn them down because I wasn't confident in the project. So, I probably missed out on about a lot of tens of thousands of dollars on Power Ledger. So I don't know if I'm the best person to be giving advice on WePower at this point in time and how it specifically correlates to Power Ledger. So somebody's saying, Scout with Clout, saying that he prefer Charles to spend more time writing code than marketing. He thinks EOS is going to smoke them. It's a possibility. I personally like Cardano more than EOS, but I get when people say, you know, they like EOS more too. I mean, I think that both are legitimate plays. You can certainly go the EOS route. You can go the Cardano route. You can also buy both if you'd like, if you think either one of them are legit. I mean, I don't think you can. I don't think you can point to either Charles Hoskinson or Dan Larimer's background and experience in crypto and say neither of them have earned it. They've both done really well in the crypto world and obviously have a lot of experience. So I think that they're both pretty solid plays. And I think I heard a lot of people in Miami talking about EOS as well. So that's one that was a pretty prime subject of discussion. I heard a lot of people saying that EOS was one that they like quite a bit. Somebody said DAV. So if you're talking about Devor coin, I'm assuming DAV going to hell like BitConnect. It will eventually. It'll get a cease and desist letter and it will die off. And all the Devor bros out there that are pumping DAV, are going to find a new crypto piece of crap to pump. So yeah. You kill one Ponzi scheme, another one comes back up. It's like a freaking game of Ponzi crypto whack-a-mole. Even though they're not really cryptocurrencies, they're just Ponzi schemes that are hiding behind a fake centralized blockchain. So, Sam, how you feeling about props as a long-term hold? I am very, very excited about props. I advise the ICO, so I'm certainly biased to props, but I'm going to be using the Rise token, and I think that the ICO raise that they had was 25 mil. That was very conservative. They potentially could have raised a lot more, but I think, I mean, granted, if the market stays steady, and hopefully, hopefully Bitcoin can stay above 10K. Maybe get back a level 11, 12, 13, whatever. But if Bitcoin stays above 10K and doesn't have any type of crash, I think I would probably think that I'll see like we'll see a multiple 1 to 2x on props for anybody that got into that ICO, just because they had a pretty conservative ICO. They have a legit product. I just signed up for the beta. The CEO just emailed me their beta product. So I'm going to be, I'm going to be using and starting to leverage the Rise platform on props as soon as I get a chance. So hopefully that'd be pretty cool to play around with. Somebody said, am I holding any VeChain? General thoughts on the project. I got into VeChain pretty early in December, thanks to somebody from my meetup that was like a massive, massive, massive fan of VeChain. So I made a move into VeChain in early December. I wish it was a lot bigger of a move, but I didn't have as much conviction on VeChain as I should have. I had no idea that it would literally pull like a multiple 5, 10, 15x, whatever it was. But VeChain is my second largest holding in my portfolio. I might rebalance a little bit just because I'm pretty heavily exposed to VeChain. But I mean, as far as buying in now, again, if we're looking at VeChain's chart, this is probably the type of chart that I would be like, hey guys, you probably don't necessarily want to. I mean, this was back in, so I got in, I think December 7th. So I got in what some might consider a pump, like around here. Actually, now it's right here. I think I got in December 7th. It's up. It's actually not. Oh no, it's BNB, not BTC. Oof, that's different. Wowzers. So yeah, I got in like December 7th. And VeChain is up 2,000% since I got in, around 2,000% in 47 days. With that being said, I look at this chart and I say, am I cool holding my VeChain because my dollar cost average is so low? Yeah, sure. Would I say, hey guys, yeah, you should pop into something that's up 2,000%? No. I think you'd be out of your rocker to think that. In terms of service, there be no about X coin answers. I'm not sure Adrian, I don't know what you're going for there, brother. Thoughts on BitJob STU? So BitJob is probably a little bit smaller than this is kind of the, I don't know. This is something that I don't necessarily know. I mean, just off the top, I don't really know. Maybe they have some nice strategic partners. I don't know if this is something that I'd be super interested in seeing. One thing that's kind of similar to this, though, that's in the process of an ICO or in the near future, but Academy. Let's just see. Trying to see if I can find the website. Let's see. No, that's definitely not it. So there's a company called Academy that is like a crypto developer blockchain. So what they're trying, or excuse me, not a blockchain. That's dumb. They are a crypto blockchain software engineer developer, basically boot camp. So either 6 weeks or like a year-long course for individuals who either are software engineers in the crypto space or want to become software engineers. And what they're trying to do is there is addressing the talent gap between the number of job openings for software engineers, for developers in the crypto world, with the lack of available talent. So that was actually a pretty interesting thing. I saw those folks at the Miami conference. I was impressed by what they had to say. Yep, Academy blockchain school. They seem pretty solid. I don't know if anybody's really doing what they're trying to do now, but I know myself personally, I was impressed. A couple of my friends that checked them out were also impressed as well. Folks, outside of that, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. If you wouldn't mind subscribing and hit that notify button, that would be fantastic. And if you could hit that like button so that this video, for anybody that didn't get a chance to watch it, if you can hit the like button, if you can hit that like button, that would be awesome, so that this video can go out to the people that didn't get a chance to watch it live. I would very much appreciate that. Somebody said, do I still think bread is a good investment? Samuel L. De Niro. Bread has not moved as much as I'd like it to. To be pretty frank, I'm kind of looking at bread and thinking about whether I might want to reallocate that to something else. It's not like my highest conviction cryptocurrency, and I still have held on to all the bread that I own, but I'm not like super positive about it. So as far as it being a good investment, I don't necessarily know one way or another. But I am looking at it thinking, hey, maybe there's better opportunities elsewhere at this point in time. That's just my overall thought process, though. Cormac O'Brien, can I pay you in BitConnect token every time you say Frank? Yeah, I should stop saying Frank, frankly, whatever. I'm saying Frank too much. I'm eating too many buffalo chicken wraps. But yeah, I take BitConnect token. They're probably going to be worth like 4 cents by the time you send them over. But yeah, keep staking those BitConnect tokens. Somebody said, how much of the current price action do you think is from CME futures? I think there's a little bit of it. I mean, I think it's certainly an aspect of it, but I don't think the entire crypto market is dependent upon CME futures. I still don't think there's a ton of volume there I still don't think there is a ton of volume on the CME futures markets right now to justify like controlling the entire market. But I think the futures and the expiration date on those contracts was a fairly key indicator. It might continue to be so. Somebody said, start saying first and foremost. That's a great phrase to use. Yeah, let's do it. Let's start. Yeah, first and foremost, folks, if cryptocurrency goes down, then it will go down. And then second and foremost, if cryptocurrency goes up, then it will go up and you will hopefully make more money. Well, outside of that, folks, frankly, I'm pretty tired right now. Long day at work. Was in the office at like 6:30. Didn't leave till 7. So long day in the office. Looking forward to getting back with you guys tomorrow. But like I said, I will be pumping out content in the next couple of days. So expect a video per day plus crypto happy hours every night this week. So get excited, hopefully, for that. Hopefully you guys have a good time with Crypto Happy Hour. Hopefully you like it. But if you are new to the channel, like I said, hit that subscribe and the notify bell. And if you have been subscribed for a while, first of all, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your time. Hit that like button so this video can get out to everybody else. But I really do appreciate all your time and hope you guys have a fantastic day, night, wherever you might be watching in from. And good luck in the markets. Have a fantastic night. Crypto Uppy signing out. Peace.